Well, howdy, 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 dearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. I have my floor fan on, and the unit back there, this is the thing that I talk about occasionally. It makes noise and cycles air. It's got sensors, and yeah, that thing makes noise. I can hear it. A lot of people that live here can't hear theirs. I can hear mine. It's not annoying. It's just loud periodically. Yay! It is a brand new day, and I sincerely hope that your day is going well. I have not been doing too much today, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about was something that I talked about on my community tab. They have a Steam sale still going on, and one of the things they had a sale on was the game Wobbledogs. And the game Wobbledogs is usually like 20 bucks, but it's like a third off. I'm already losing a little bit of weight because I'm not eating. So I went and spent a day, well, probably a day and a half, worth of food and bought the $7 worth of Wobbledogs. Wobbledogs is not really a sandbox, but it's kind of like Tamagotchi in that you're taking care of these little cartoon dog things. And they're like dogs, only they have weird rectangular bodies, legs on the bottom of them, and then a head on the front. They don't act like dogs. They act like creatures that have, rectangular bodies and four legs like this. And so they fall over, they move slowly, they do stuff. And you have to feed them or they'll, get hungry and starve. You got to clean up after them. You pet them. And they're kind of cute. They're goofy. But when they reach stages of their life, going from really young to juvenile to getting older to adult to mature, each of those stages they have to pupate, which when an insect pupates, it carves itself into a cocoon, melts inside of it, and reconfigures itself into a new bug. These dogs, when they do this, mutate. They go into a cocoon, it gets pulled up into the air, and they hang until they're ready to hatch. Then you hatch them, the dog falls out of it, and then the cocoon falls with it. I usually have the dog eat the cocoon. You need to feed them. But they mutate. They can also produce eggs. And then you can fertilize these eggs by taking part of one Wobbledog, breeding it with another Wobbledog. They'll have a bunch of litters. You choose the Wobbledog you want, and the DNA of that Wobbledog gets inserted into the egg, and then the egg hatches. And then you keep doing that, mutating and having new generations of Wobbledogs. They started me off with a tutorial Wobbledog, and then the Wobbledogs kept going on, and then I was surprised at my reaction to this. But it said, your Wobbledog is getting old. It's not ready to die, but its time is coming. Do you want to focus on the Wobbledog? And then it just brings the focus in. Now, it doesn't have to be just on that dog. When you're in this mode, any Wobbledog that you click on to go check on them, it does the focus on, and it just follows them with them in the center of the screen and everything else moving around because it's focused on them. I watched the one Wobbledog for a while, and then went on to some other things. And then it said, your Wobbledog has reached the end of its life, and it is about to perish. Do you want to focus on that? And I'm still getting emotional about it. Which is dumb. It's a goofy, cartoonish looking game. You can drag your Wobbledogs around and they go bonk, bonk, bonk. You can whap them into the other Wobbledogs. They're goofy looking, and it's a goofy looking bit of physics engine that they have. But I started to feel really bad. And then focus on the Wobbledog. Now, I may start to cry, to be honest. But then the Wobbledog fell onto its side. And it howled. And then all the other Wobbledogs howled. And then it died. Its head fell off. Its legs fell off. And again, I was surprised at the reaction I had and the reaction I'm still having. I was bawling like a baby. I had to turn the game off. I got tears in my eyes now. But then I've always been very, very quick to cry. It's been difficult through my life not bawling like a child, when I'm watching anything. And so that's how that day went yesterday when I bought Wobbledogs. Which, goofy as it is, I had watched some videos on it and wasn't really impressed. But YouTube kept showing me more Wobbledog stuff after I watched the one Wobbledog video. And it actually grew on me to the point that I became emotionally invested in a cartoon, rectangular bodied, because they got these bright pink bodies and then little gray heads with these big eyes painted on the sides, and then they've got the 4 legs. They're not even dog legs, they're just a pair in the front and a pair in the back. And it was just, oh. So yeah, thumbs up. I'm gonna go back to it. I'm just, yay. The other thing that just happened, I have been watching some videos, reactions of people doing playthroughs of Indigo Park, game by Mason Myers' Unique Geese. He and a team spent a little over a year doing the game Indigo Park after he had thrown together in a week Garten of Banban Reincarnated, where he redid it. And it was poorly done, and then it was badly optimized, but everybody is still more impressed with that than the actual Garden of Banban. He says, they shouldn't say that it's fixed. It's not. It's just his reimagining of it, poorly optimized, etc., etc., etc. But he and his crew with Indigo Park, they really did something, because that Rambley the Raccoon character they've got. Well, I got to talk about one of the things that I really like what they've done with the character. Because the character of Rambley Raccoon, yay, I always forget to change that power plan. What they did with Rambley Raccoon is they goes from screen to screen following you along, but whenever the character switches from one screen to another, there's a bit of graphical glitching and some audio glitching, and then graphical glitching and audio glitching on the new screen that they're showing up. Which I think is bloody awesome, because it's not just weird graphical glitching, there's also, it's a bunch of, still shots of Rambley in different positions, and then it's a bunch of real short clips of like Rambley saying, like, ip up, ip pop, all mixed together on top of each other, and so you go, at the front and the back of it, and that's good. So thumbs up on that. Yay. So I just wanted to mention that. I think they did a really good job. The voice actor, perfect. The animations, perfect. The characterization, bloody perfect. Character's got an actual personality. At one point, you can collect collectibles, makes sense. You can get collectibles all the way through the game, and you find information kiosks, and the character Rambley will tell you about what you found. Now, one part of it shows me that somebody like me must be part of his team, because you've got a cup that you would put a drink into, and it's for Rambleberry smoothies. And when Rambley sees that, he's talking about how, a Rambleberry smoothie never tastes as good as when it's, drank out of his plastic, lifeless head. And it's like, oh my God, yes. You drink it out of the plastic, lifeless head, and that's perfect. Of course it's going to make it 110% better. It's just the way he talks about it. Oh, it's drank out of my plastic, lifeless head. Yeah, yeah, I talk like that periodically, so hearing it from another character, even if it's a fictional one, still, someone thinks like that, which is why they put it in there. So, yay on that. Thumbs up. Then, let's see if I can remember. Did I write anything up there about this, or... I can't remember what I was going to talk about, but it was something, so that's good. That's good. Oh well. Still, I am trying to get stuff done, and I am trying to think of things, and I really wish I could do reactions and such. I do not know how to do them on a tablet when all I have is the tablet to record and edit with. Because when I'm recording me, I can't record anything else, which means if I was reacting to a video, no one would ever see the video, because I'd be playing on a monitor and recording me on this, and you can't overlay video to make it play on top, so you wouldn't be able to see it, and then the sound would be just what you could hear being played off of speakers into the room. It'd be awful. I wouldn't want to watch that. How can I imagine anyone else would want to? Until I can get another computer, I can't do anything like that, which is why, if you could check out in the description my GoFundMe, I'm trying to get together a computer, and since my rent is going up by $100 on November 1st, I couldn't afford a computer before. I'm going to be even more not able to afford a computer when my rent goes up. So if you could donate to help me out, that would be awesome. The laptop I have will play games up to about 2000, okay? From 2000 to 2015, it plays them, they play, but they're choppy, and anything from 2015 on, usually just a slideshow. And even at that, from up to those ones, you know, from the ones that play choppily, I have to lower them down to really awful settings. And I cannot edit video on this thing or record. So if you could help me out so I could get a computer where I could do that sort of thing, I could do reactions and game stuff and all sorts of things again. But for right now, I am really limited in it, and it makes me sad. I mean, life is life. So if you could check that out in the description, that would be very awesome. Thank you very, very much. So there was other things that I wanted to talk about. The only other thing that I can remember now, because ADHD, curse my poor brain is what I was going to say. I have, on the other hand, picked up these index cards. Now, why would I even talk about getting a pack of index cards? Well, there is an actual TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game, called ICRPG, Index Card RPG, where I guess you're supposed to, like, everything fits on index cards? I don't know. But for games like 4 Against Darkness and all that, you can put a character on an index card, which is almost easier than putting them in a notebook where you're flipping paper around. Having your character on a little card is good. I used to make characters decades back for the game Tunnels and Trolls, because you can make up a character for that really easily, and they fit super easy on an index card. So I got index cards so I can try putting characters on those. So thumbs up on that. I just thought I'd mention. Oh, part of what I'd been thinking about was more of my solo RPG setting, but the only thing I'm really going to say on that is I was thinking about the words, because I've been trying to make a distinction between there's 3 languages done by 3 species, but they all live together. The Apani, the Habani, and the Orkani. All of the Hulat, where the Orkani are tall, 6.5 foot tall, you know, they're orcs, and the Hobbs are like us, except, you know, of that race. And the Apani are these 4.5 foot tall, I mean, you probably call them goblins in another setting, but except they're not goblins, they're people. But I was thinking about words, because the name of the town and the setting that I'm playing in, where the game takes place where I play, is Nagrad, which is an Apani word for home. And when you come across the ocean from Lanlua, you come into the settlement of Tuathic, all the way across the ocean there. And that is a Hob word. And then the Ogranic forest is an Orcani word. But Nagrot is like, these are, These are words that are made up of syllables that are like a handful of small rocks banging against each other. Nagrat. That's ticka 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 tick, like that. An Ogranic word. God, I keep doing that. An Orcani word is more like larger rocks in a sack. They bang, but they also scrape, which is like why the word Ogranic of the Ogranic forest is an Orcani word. Those are the sound of the rocks scraping against. Ogranic. Hob words are more like a candy. They have a hard shell with a soft center. Tuathic starts off with those hard sounds, but it's uath in the middle. That's the soft part. So that's the way they feel to me with my neurodiverse brain. So I just thought I'd mention that. Still always working on stuff, even if it's stuff that will never be used for anything at all. It just lets me know what the cultures are, and I like that sort of thing. It's cool. Hopefully I'll get something done. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yay! But executive function and dysfunction, after all. I mean, executive function and dysfunction, executive function is what basically lets you make decisions. And when you have problems with executive function, there's a lot of ways to look at that. One way is, I even forgotten the ways that you can look at it. Well, one of the ways that I looked at in the past is you have each decision that you want to make has a lever, and it requires a certain amount of pressure and a certain amount of time of pressure to be able to push it, make the connection, and then be able to do something. But each day you only have so much time that you can press and so much pressure that you can give. So if you have 300 pounds of pressure and 300 minutes to exert that pressure, and you've got one big job that's going to take 200 pounds of pressure and 150 units of time, you might not be able to do that one just because you don't have enough time left. But even at that makes it sound like it's something that's a choice. But it's not. The way that my therapist and another therapist that showed him how to do it is, think of it as when somebody who does not have executive function issues wants to make a decision. They just walk up to a wall, press the button, and then go on and make that and do the action that they just made the decision for. It's just that easy. You want to walk over and let's say you've got a plastic bottle on a tabletop. You walk past it. If you're a normal person who does not have these issues, it is in metaphorical terms, you just walk up, press the button, and as you're walking you do that, and then you just continue onward, you grab the bottle, and then you go throw it away. I had over by my sink a bottle of dishwashing liquid fall off. Not far, only 6 inches. It was over 2 weeks before I could get through the executive function, reach down and just pick it up to lift it. Until that time, I could not. My therapist and all that says the good way to look at that is when you walk up to press that button so that you can do it, you first have to solve a problem. And the one thing he likes to do is to show this picture that is just a distorted mass of lines and shapes. And you have to spell what animal that is before you can press that button. And if it's just an ill-defined mass of lines and shapes, you're going to be staring at that thing for a long time trying to figure it out, if you even can. You might not ever be able to figure out what that is, and then you can't press that button. It took 2 weeks for my brain of looking at that picture before I went, That's a cow. At which point, bang. Hit that button, reached down, picked it up, and it was done. But until my brain figured out what that was, I couldn't press that button. That is a test that you have to take. And if you have executive function issues, that is in front of every decision you make. You went and threw a pair of socks into your dirty clothes hamper, but you missed? Every time you walk past those socks, you walk up to that button and you're trying to figure out what that animal is so you can spell it. But you can't, so you have to walk by them. They might be there tomorrow morning. And you've been screaming at yourself inside your head to get those socks picked up. Because it's easy. You just have to reach down there and get those socks. But until you figure out what animal that is and spell it, no, you're stuck. So executive issue functions are fun. Anyway, though, if you have watched this far, and thank you so very, very much if you have, I'm just an older guy who's trying to figure out how to make things less horrible for himself in the twilight years of his life. And the fact that there are people out there that like, or at least do, watch and listen to me ramble about life, thank you so very much. It is appreciated. If you could type melatonin into the comments, that would be very cool. I keep forgetting to say this, but I'm trying to get more engagement. And yeah, said that way, I'd like to get more engagement. So if you could, make sure to hit like and leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't. And if you could share the video with people whom you think would enjoy watching an old guy ramble on about nothing, that would be very cool. Thumbs up and thank you very, very much. If you are a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you. Without your help, I would be hurting even more, especially with my rent going up. Everybody's rent's gone up. Mine is the highest they've seen. Obviously, I screwed something up somewhere in my paperwork, and they're trying to figure out what's going on to see if it should have gone up that much. So hopefully, it's just that much and not more. But thank you so very much. You're beautiful and awesome people. For everybody that has left me a comment, hey, after I did yesterday, I treated my arm very nicely, and my nerve compression back here, you can see I can even touch it. I've been very careful. I can lift this thing up. So very, very cool. Thumbs up on that. Oh, that went down again. I still am answering as many comments as I can, which is not as many as I would like, because as much as I was lifting my arm up and touching myself there, I do have to be very careful. Okie smokes. So thumbs up and thank you much. You are greatly, greatly appreciated. If there's anything more than I say, I honestly can't remember. Good old ADHD / attention deficit disorder. Because I have the attention deficit disorder. They don't call it attention deficit disorder anymore. That would be easy to call it just, hey, I have ADD. No, you have attention. You are ADHD with the subheading of ADD. Well, thanks. That's a lot harder to say, isn't it? Anyway, though, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. So I'm going to edit, render, upload. This has been much, much longer than I thought it would be. So son of a gun, you take care, and hopefully you enjoyed. Hey, I know I do.